My daughter said, what do you think comedy is going to be like after the pandemic? And I said, same as always, I don't like being alive. Well, I mean, it's just too hard. Everyone can find a problem with everything. You can walk outside and be like, she sure is a nice day out today, huh? She? Really? The day's a she now? How do you know that? It's like, just grabbing my mail. M-A-I-L. M-A-I-L. There's a lot of rules now, right? You can't do a lot of stuff. But one thing I won't do is I won't guess gender. I just don't do it. I go, hey, when I was younger, I used to go, hey, you, and my mom would go, that is rude. Turns out it's the most woke thing you could ever say. Who knew construction workers have been ahead of the game this entire time? I was in San Francisco getting a coffee one time, and I walked in, and the person working had a name tag on, and it said Eric. And Eric had a beard. I don't pretend to know where Eric's life started, but that dude, that day, I'm pretty sure he was a dude. Right? And so I said, hey, Eric, can I get a coffee? And he goes, no problem. And I said, all right, just 1 pump of vanilla, please. And he goes, yep. And then he turned around and put 4 pumps of vanilla in it. And I go, that's going to be too much vanilla. I'm going to be eating Little Debbie zebra rolls with that coffee, and that's too sweet. So I was going to say, excuse me, sir, but instead of saying sir, I freaked out and held the S, trying to think of something else that started with S till I ran out of breath. I was like, excuse me, I'm a snake. And then I left without my coffee. I'm gonna retell that story in 3 chunks. Paid for coffee, told another person I was a snake, then I left without my coffee. And my friend waiting outside was like, where's your coffee? And I was like, snakes don't have hands, idiot! I was so embarrassed I held on to the lie for 2 more blocks. It is hard being alive right now. It's hard for lots of reasons. It's hard because every single person has a mental illness. Yeah, it's a tough one, huh? But we all do. You, everyone in here, me. I mean, crazy people have been fucking for way too long for all of us not to have something. I'm gonna tell you that. You ever see a freckle on your hand? You're like, I didn't know there was a redhead in here. Yes. Same with that. And you might be thinking, I don't have a mental illness. Well, that's narcissism. What's up, bruh? We all have one, right? I was reading the big book, and I was looking at all the symptoms they call them, and I was looking at bipolar 2, and 2 of the symptoms for that were wants to have sex with random people, impulse purchases. Ladies and gentlemen, I brought you all here tonight to tell you you have bipolar 2. I mean, isn't that every single person that's ever lived? If you can't get laid, you should try to find somebody with a 15-pack of chapstick. Because they did not go into Target for that, but they sure as hell came out with it. My daughter came home and she goes, Dad, all my friends in my friends group have anxiety, but I don't have it. And that's making me anxious. And I was like, awesome, it's airborne. Sweet. Perfect. I didn't know a lot about anxiety before she said that, and I started researching it, and I've come to the conclusion there are 2 main types of anxiety: real and fake. Please keep in mind, just because you don't know anyone with fake anxiety doesn't mean it isn't real. Because I have a friend with fake anxiety, and that's all I need for this test group to be right. I only need one. He's an asshole, and then he uses fake anxiety as an excuse to be an asshole. And that bothers me for several reasons. Number 1, you're faking something you don't have that some people do have. And number 2, I'm an asshole, but I don't have anxiety, so I'm just an asshole. Right? Like, I wake up, I'm in a bad mood, I don't like what you're doing, and then I'm mean to you. That's amazing. You're the youngest person that's ever shaked their head for that, just like, yeah, I like that idea. Most of the time, young people are like, wait, you can do that? And it's like, yeah, you can do that. It's awesome. You should try it. I give people 2 warning shots, and then I go off. That's just how I live my life. I was in a grocery store once, and a guy had his cart parked up against the food I needed, and so I even tried to lighten the mood. I go, hey, excuse me, you put my food in jail. Right? Kind of clever. Like, my food's in jail. He goes, yeah, just a second. And I go, oh, I don't want to wait for parole, so if we could move your cart. And he goes, just a second. And I just said, fucking move it. That's 2 nice tries. And then I'm not going to sit here and beg you to move your fucking cart all day. There's no way. And I'm going to tell you something. It felt great. You used to be able to yell at people. It was awesome. And now you can't yell at anyone. It's just insanity. When he left the store, I didn't try to run him over with my car. I didn't follow him home and murder his family and boil his pets. Right? I'm not that far into that book. I just asked him nicely twice. He didn't do it, and I said, fucking move it! Pressure just... like hot yoga for my whole body, but just took a sec. I was born before technology, and we used to write pen pals from other countries. I can see some older people going, yeah. Not older, my age. Yes, we did that. And then you'd forget about it. And then 6 months later, you were like, what is this? What are these letters? And what does that sickle mean? I'm just so excited. Like, you have to wait in line for bread? My fucking life is great! It's probably just written by your teacher to let you know how great your life was. But I think we should return to the pen pal thing, but we should call. We should have somebody in another country that we can call every morning when we wake up and just go, hey, is this Henri? Oh, it is? Awesome. I think you suck. Hang up the phone. Just be like, you need coffee? I don't. I just told Henri he sucks and I feel great. And then Henri will call me the next day because it's a partnership. And he'll go, hey, Chad, is this you? And I'll go, yes, it is. And he'll go, you do have tits. And he'll hang up. And then he's like walking around like, oh, he has tits. It's so funny. I feel great. You gotta let the steam off, man. You go crazy. My friend with fake anxiety, I'm going to tell you how I know it's fake. I know, we're back and forth again. Remember, 12th night in a calendar year. My friend with fake anxiety, he uses 3 words that no one with real anxiety would ever use. He talked to me one day and he goes, hey, sorry about your party, but my anxiety got the best of me and I was just being an asshole all night long. There they are, all night long. Someone with real anxiety doesn't do anything all night long, especially if it's bothering other people. Right? I have friends with real anxiety. They could put the spoon in the bean dip incorrectly and just be like, oh, I made another mark in the bean dip. It was supposed to go in this mark and I made this mark. I don't like it here. And they leave. They just leave. And then they'll call me 3 days later, and my friends call it an episode when they have them, right? They're like, hey, sorry about that episode. Thanks for still being my friend. It's like, of course I'm still your friend. It's bean dip, for Christ's sake. Not only that, if I'm ever in an emergency, you're one of the only people I want around, because I bet you've been worrying about that shit since the 3rd grade. Probably have a 3-ring binder with a ton of ways to get out of it. I look at my friends with anxiety kind of like superheroes, man, because it's weird. If I was on a plane that was crashing, I would look for someone with anxiety to calm me down. And I know that doesn't make sense, but let's go to the chart. My resting worry is way down here. I don't worry about much. Someone with anxiety, their resting worry is up here. You put me in a plane crash, weep, I'm way up here. Someone with anxiety, still right down here. Want to know why? Because it's just a plane crash. It's just a standard, run-of-the-mill, hitting the ground and exploding plane crash, right? Their parents aren't on the flight telling them what they've done wrong since 6th grade. You're like, why are you so calm? I'm like, oh, when I thought about a plane crash, we didn't even crash into Earth. The Earth opened up and we landed in the middle and lava monsters ate our brains while we were still alive. And it's like, oh, yeah, this is way better, thank you. Also, 2 weeks ago, I called a stranger's service animal by the wrong name, and I haven't really slept. So I'm just kind of ready to get it over with.